This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Rachel Fife.
Well, welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Now, if you are looking for a holistic approach to healing with a practitioner that's versed in Reiki, massage therapy, and sound therapy and sound healing, well, that person is closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Alejandra Garcia Ortez, with Azure Therapeutic Massage. Alejandra, how is it going today?
Rachel, good afternoon. I am wonderful. So happy to be here with you and all of your listeners. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited to learn about you and your business. So tell us about the company and the business.
So I have the pleasure with working at Azure Therapeutic Massage Studio. We're located in Orange. I am myself am a massage therapist, Reiki master, and also cranial sacral therapist. So I have the pleasure and the blessings really of offering all three of these services at our studio alongside my very talented in her own right colleague Priscilla Noriega. So we share this space. We've created this Zen space that I like to call it, and we both offer our services out of that studio.
Well, how did you get into this type of business?
Long story short, really it came about through my own journey of healing. For many years, I was storing a lot of stress, a lot of emotions that I had not yet processed. So really, where it kind of started was I spent 7 years living rurally in the mountains of Northern California for 7 years. Over that time, with that space and the nature and the peace and quiet, what that allowed me to really do was come back to myself, come back to my body, come back to my spirit, come back to my soul. And, once I discovered, that there's work, somatic practices, breath work, movement, massage, you name it, that there are practices out there that can help bring relief, I really became very, very interested in just learning more. So I continued my education in massage therapy because massage is an excellent way to help move out emotions, trauma, physical pain, physical tension. And then that led me to dive deeper into those somatic practices. So that led me into cranial sacral therapy. So I studied cranial sacral therapy at the Upledger Institute. So in a nutshell, what cranial sacral therapy does is we have what's called a cerebral spinal fluid that originates in the brain, runs down the spine down to our sacrum. This fluid helps the innervations that come up from the spine fire off as they should. So in a nutshell, we release these restrictions that could be possible in the face and the head along the body with a very, very, very light nickel weight to worth pressure. So it's safe for the elderly, it's safe for children, it's safe for anybody with any physical conditions. And we release these restrictions in order for this fluid and the nervous system to flow as it should. The goal is getting us from that fight or flight that a lot of us unfortunately are in these days because of all the stressors of everything that's going on, and get us back into that natural rest and digest where the body can naturally heal. Along with that, there's Reiki energy, because from my perspective, I want to approach healing holistically, mind, body, and soul. So again, my own journey of healing, of discovery, of figuring out that there is hope and that there is relief.
Wonderful. Well, what do you think are some myths or misconceptions in your industry?
I think maybe one of the biggest one revolves around Reiki energy healing. One, it's not really in the mainstream yet. However, it really is gaining a lot of momentum, especially now that a lot of the major hospitals, Johns Hopkins, I believe UCLA, are among some of the hospitals that are integrating Reiki energy in their oncology wards. So there is science. There really is science behind Reiki energy. It's not woo-woo. It's not just like, it's not energy and vibes. It is vibes, but it really is dealing what we know as the aura is a measurable electromagnetic field that we emit from our brains and our hearts. It's measurable. This is science. So what is in these energy fields is just that. It's energy, it's data, it's information, it's emotion. So as a Reiki practitioner, I channel in to universal life force energy. It's not my energy that I'm channeling, it's the universe. So whenever I work with a client, I remind them that I am channeling universal energy, channeling to them into this magnetic field, into this aura, in order to help clear out some of that emotion, some of that trauma, some of that stored energy that can then make an impact on our body and on our minds. So there is science. There's absolutely science behind everything I do. I'm such a left brain individual. I'm very analytical. So everything I've come to, let's say in the spiritual world, I've come to and through the scientific world.
Wonderful. Wow. So now we know marketing is really the heart of every business. So how are you finding your patients or your clientele?
There's a lot of word of mouth. I think my work is very intimate. It's very intimate because it requires a lot of trust. It requires time. It requires patience. So I would say the biggest source of my clients is word of mouth. Additionally, Priscilla and I, we're taking a little bit of a break, but we also do in Santa Ana, which is neighboring to Orange, we do the art walk every first of the month. And that really is just an excellent way to bring these modalities to the community, sometimes to people that might not typically have access to it for different reasons. So we really enjoy kind of bringing that educating the community. Social media has also been a really, really great vehicle for that, putting out videos that educate, putting out videos that inspire. I think education probably is the biggest cornerstone of my marketing, because with the cranial sacral and the Reiki, they're not as well known yet. But once we kind of get through that barrier of knowledge, of education, people become believers.
Wonderful. Have you ever thought of doing your own podcast?
I've been on a couple, and I really enjoy reaching out to people. I really enjoy the art, what you do. I think it's so important because it's education at the heart of it. So yes, in short, yes.
Okay. Now, outside of work, what do you like to do for fun?
A lot of nature, a lot of hiking, a lot of barefoot on grass. Again, that's another one of those things that people might be like, earthing is woo-woo. It is absolutely not woo-woo. There is actual ions and energy that come up from Mother Earth, and it helps cleanse, it helps release. So really just the act of being barefoot on some grass and being out in nature, getting some sun, some vitamin D is extremely healing. So not only is that fun for me, but that re-energizes me, that re-grounds me, and it just really gets me ready for my work.
Wonderful. So Alejandra, tell my listeners one thing they should remember about Azure Therapeutic Massage.
One thing I think that both Priscilla and I do really, really well is it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. Every individual that comes through that door, we take the time to talk. We take the time to understand. We take the time, even when appropriate, to look at medical history, to look at anything else that the client wants to share, in order to tailor our treatment. So it's not just you come into the door, it's one size, next. It's not a revolving factory door. We really take the time to understand the client, understand the energy, and meet them where they're at.
Wonderful. How can our listeners learn more about Azure Therapeutic Massage?
Visit our website, azuretherapeuticmassage.com. You will find a list of my services as well as Priscilla's. You can schedule online. We make it very, very easy. We have our schedules there, list of services, way to contact. Also social media. Social media, like I said, we both really use that as a really great vehicle for education. So you can find a lot of really interesting shorts and reels and pictures. We love to share knowledge. We love to share information. So on Instagram, same handle, Azure Therapeutic Massage.
Wonderful. Well, Alejandra, I really appreciate you being on the show, and we wish you and your business the very best.
Rachel, this was amazing. I really appreciate your time and your energy, and thank you so much for the opportunity. And I welcome anybody who have any questions. Feel free to reach out on our website, on Instagram. Just say hi.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnporangecounty.com. That's gnporangecounty.com, or call 714-941-8862.